Hi, Rishabh.
Hello, James. Thank you so much for joining us today. Means a lot to have you here on Indian Startup Day. Please tell all of us what your startup does.
Sure. And thanks for having me here. So, Codygon is specializing in AI and analytics solutions for enterprises primarily. So, we have, prior to starting the startup, I was working for another firm delivering solutions to companies like Pfizer, Merck, Aramco, and others. So, there were a couple of complex challenges in the data space, in the AI space, and businesses trying to get the maximum outcome of their AI investments. So, there were a couple of gaps that I identified, and I set out to solve these challenges with the generative AI and with the latest agentic AI. So we have built a couple of solutions. We're looking at speaking with executives across different industries and trying to identify the pain points that they have. And we have two solutions right now. We have Anode, which is for data quality. It detects issues in your data automatically. And we also have Tower, which is for building dashboards automatically using AI. Both these solutions save companies millions of dollars every year.
Sounds wonderful, James. Sounds like you are riding the AI wave at the right time. Can you paint a picture for us? Give us an example. If I'm a company, I'm running a business, I have so much data, so much internal data, so much external customer data. So how would it look if I were to, come and use your solution?
Okay, so there are two facets to it. One is data quality and the other is data visualization. As an executive, you want to extract the most out of the data that you have. You want to look at the KPIs that actually add value to your business. So you can't just work with the data that you already have. There's a whole process, there's a whole data transformation step where you have to clean the data. You have to make it in the right format for use in the analytics dashboards. So here what happens is typically we see data engineers coming and building these pipelines for extracting the data, processing it, and making it available. And then we have data analysts, which they speak with businesses. They try to understand what their pain points are, and they try to extract the KPIs that are most relevant to them. Now, here, data quality is a challenge. When you take in data from different vendors, it is possible that even if a pipeline is pretty good, there might be some issues with data. We have seen that in one of the previous projects that we worked with, one of the vendors supplied bad data, and then the pipeline started failing. You started like seeing issues. And fortunately, there were a bunch of engineers who were looking at the pipeline, seeing what the outputs are. But imagine what if there weren't anyone there. Like you build the pipeline and then a few months later you see some issues cropping up, right? So you need something automated for that. And that's one of the solutions there. So when you put the solution in place, you're saving a whole lot of time. You're catching issues before they even pop up in the dashboard. So before they reach the executives. And the other solution, Tower. So what happens is executives are like short of on time, right? So they want to have dashboards immediately. Sometimes you want to get into a meeting with other executives and you don't have that one data point available, and then you have to scramble to get your BI developer and create the chart for you. So instead of doing that, what you can do is you can just go to Tower, put in your data, and get the chart that you want. If the chart, I mean, it generates it automatically for you. And if the initial generation isn't correct, you can just chat with your charts. You can say you want something else and it delivers it for you. You can just take that and put it in your slide deck.
That sounds very cool, James. What kind of sectors are you targeting? Because I also understand that, every company, every sector has different types of data. Every sector has different KPIs that work for them. So what are some of your focus areas for Codygon right now?
So like the team has expertise primarily into the life sciences space, but we are sector agnostic, you would say. We are currently speaking with a couple of other companies as well, people in other sectors that we haven't previously touched on. So we see some challenges in I mean, even before getting to the point of data quality, there are certain industries or certain companies, even in India, that haven't gotten to the point of having a solid data governance management in place. So when we speak to these companies, we figure out that companies in the associated sector, like pharmaceuticals, is one, but then on the medical side of things, or somewhere on the lens manufacturing side of things. So we see that this is a challenge that everyone wants to get into this space. They want to make sense of the data. The operations are running fine, but then a lot of manual effort goes into it, wastes a lot of time. So I would say in general, it's agnostic. People are like slowly waking up to it. It's already a bit developed more in the US, but in Indian companies, we see that there is a push and people are actively coming forward to it. So we see more opportunities here in different sectors.
Makes sense, James. And does this work, if for all the viewers who are watching and want to check out your product, is this something that is a project by project basis that a company would work with? Or is it like a SaaS model where you can just plug and play?
So we have both. Right now, what the model that we have is we have made Anode and Tower available for free with limited features. So it's available for everyone to try for a limited time. You can check out a website and just sign up and try with your data. So what we do is we reach out to companies, and companies also reach out to us looking at a website. And typically enterprises have custom requirements. Rarely do you see that you have a turnkey solution where you just put in things and it works. You have different kind of databases, you have different security models, governance models in place that you would want each solution to work with. So we work with companies, we do some trials as well to find out if this is going to be the best fit for them, or if it's going to work in conjunction with other solutions, and if they have certain compliance models in place, because compliance is pretty important. We definitely don't want to take a backseat on that. So we have both models available. So it fits everyone's use case.
Very interesting, James. I'd also like to know, I think just before we wind up, a couple of questions that we can close on. The first, is something that I always wanted to ask you. How do you see the Indian landscape for Gen AI products like yourself, right? And how is Codygon sort of differentiating itself from everybody else who's building in a similar space?
That's a very interesting question. And as you said, it's an exciting time to be building. So what we've seen in like when ChatGPT was released, we saw a lot of companies coming up, not just in the US, but surprisingly in India as well. And even the companies that were traditionally very hesitant to get on, like the pharma companies and some of the other companies which are a little old school, you would say. So there are startups that have come up that are addressing these challenges, these gaps for these companies as well. And the other company is actually being receptive to that. So, I mean, in the past 3 years, there's been a certain boom, and even within the data space itself, a lot of Indian startups are trying to solve challenges. Although we see marketing tech, and the sales tech taking the center stage in these generative AI pieces, there is a whole segment of data and enterprise challenges that are yet to be explored, and there are startups that are exploring that. So, from Codygon, I mean, we bring our expertise working with almost a decade with a lot of companies working on data pipelines, data challenges. You can't just take an LLM and then just throw it at a problem. There's a whole set of refining, there's a whole set of data grounding that needs to be done. Your models need to deliver business outcomes. We have spent a lot of time experimenting with GPT-4. We have partnerships with Microsoft and Google as well. So we leverage both models, Gemini and GPT-4, and we have done extensive experiments on what works best, and that sets us apart, uh, combined with our commitment to delivering the best for the customers. So I would say customers
Yeah.
benefit from the combined expertise, the technical and the business side.
This great ideas, James. Just before I let you go, very quickly, what can we expect from you in the next 1 or 2 years? What plans do you have?
We are definitely trying to get in customers. That is the number one goal. So we want to make sure that whatever the customer invests into Gen AI, they get the maximum outcome of it. So you can expect to see us signing up with a lot more people and probably releasing more products as well. We do plan on expanding more into the AI and generative AI landscape and getting the maximum ROI for businesses.
James, thank you so much for joining us today. Wishing you all the best. I think it's a very exciting space for you to build and differentiate in. So, from all of us, thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you, Rishabh. And thank you, Austria, for having me here. Take care.